Hi everyone, welcome to Pokio. In today's video, I just want to talk about my startup journey at this company that I've been working for 4 years and the changes that we've seen from being in the seed stage to being now in Series A stage. So stick around to hear all the details. Okay, great. So when I started here at Doc Juris, we were a seed stage company. Basically, what that means is that we were very tiny, and most of the funding really came from if you search up online, seed stage startups mainly get their funding from like angel investors, friends, really no big like investments from capital. Like venture firms, things like that. So we were like that for a few years until recently, last year in um, the springtime, we got backed by some venture capitalists here in Texas and California. And because of that, there's been a lot of changes. So, in one of my episodes that I released earlier this week, I talked about the differences between working for a corporation and working for a startup. They are very, very different. Um, but even within the startup, things can change. So even within the startup world, there are different types of startups. There are startups that are very mature, startups that are barely starting. So the feel for each of them is going to be very different. So if you're thinking of working for a startup, you need to research and see if you're comfortable where they are. So, for a seed stage company, what that means is that pretty much nothing is in place. The company is very small, so you're like a little family. You interact with everyone in the company. And because of that, you have to wear a lot of hats. The funding can be very tricky. Sometimes you may not have enough money to do everything, or the salary could be for employees could be low. Maybe they don't even offer insurance benefits. That is very common in corporations. And thankfully for me, when I started, I had a great salary, I would say, but I still negotiated some other benefits. And I did not have any like health insurance or benefits until like a year after I started working or something like that, because that's just when we generated enough money to provide those benefits to all the employees. Once we became Series A, in between that gap, there was like a lot of like stress, even if we didn't want to, because we were trying to reach a financial goal. So we were all working very hard to attract a lot of clients, but yet we couldn't hire more people to help us. So, like, at that time, it was like the commercial team was composed well, the customer success team was only me and my manager. That was it, and we were handling all the clients. um and then for the rest of the team, like marketing only had like one person. uh the product team, like, still very tiny. And the CEO, COO, like we were pretty involved. Like we would talk with them like day in, day out. Every day was different. um but then once we got funding, we doubled in size in the department and in the company in like a week. So it was crazy. It was a little bit stressful, and like the CEO, like he made it aware to us, like, hey, like hang in there. be patient. Like once we get funding, like, we'll improve all these stuff. You'll have more support. And yes, that happened. And so now that we are Series A, things have changed. So I used to do a lot of things. I can be categorized as a generalist. So I would help with like billing, asking people to pay, helping with marketing, helping to document bugs, working with the engineers, working with sales, like doing things that technically are not under my job description for like another, like if you were able to like, hey, I want to work as a customer success manager, you wouldn't typically do all of that, but I was working for a startup and I was totally fine with that. Like I like that. Um, but now that we are becoming like we are basically growing, we're not a baby anymore. Like I don't have to do a lot of that stuff. So like this week so it's been like what, like it's almost gonna be a year. I used to be also like be responsible. Like I used to work with the CEO for like the webinars that we hosted. I used to be in charge of that. And now I finally gave it away to the marketing team because the marketing team is actually a marketing team now. And it was kind of like a little bit of a sad moment just to realize where we are, and also like just kind of proud because like 1% of a 1% gets here. Like the margins are very like small. So like I'm very grateful to see like all of this growth. But yes, basically I can say that I am more focused now and actually doing customer success type of stuff than helping like maintain and run the company. So just like be aware of that. Like there are startups out there that have like thousands of employees, and they're probably working to become public or be acquired. So that's gonna be a totally different feel. And one of the books that our CEO and our COO recommended to read as we were going to that transition was this book called Blitzscaling, and it literally goes through everything that we were going through and what we expect to happen as we continue to get that other round of funding and become a Series B company, and then potentially, be go public. So, if you're looking for a good book to read, I recommend you this one. I haven't finished it, but after that, I'll be posting my notes and making a video about that. But yeah, I just wanted to take the time, like even within once you're in the startup world, like each startup can be different. Don't expect for every startup to be like super unstable and like chaotic. So within that world, there are still a lot of flavors. If you have any questions about like you're considering working for a startup, or things like that, feel free to reach out through my LinkedIn or like connect with me or just here in the comments. But yeah, see you in my next video. Bye bye.